Now we're going to be talking about a very important part of our compensation plan, and that is the team commissions portion of the compensation plan. This is very important because we actually have something called a hybrid binary in Qivana. We're going to talk more about that as we talk about the executive matching bonus program. But for right now, let's talk about this, and let's take a look at the binary. And the binary basically means you're going to be building two organizations. You'll be building an organization to your right and an organization to your left. In this particular illustration, what I have shown is that you've sponsored someone to your right, and then you've sponsored someone to your left, but you can see the person on your left is two people deep. What that is illustrating is that someone in your upline organization spilled someone down into your left-hand side organization before you were able to sponsor your second people. Now, I want to give you a word about spill. This is very important. Some people come into a binary and they're expecting spill from their upline organization. Let me give you some advice in a binary. Do not think about it that way. Ignore spill from your upline. Will you get some? Yeah, most likely you will. But the only consideration you should be giving to spill is not whether you're receiving it, but whether you're generating it for your downline organization. Don't have an expectation to get spill. Have an expectation to create spill for your organization. And you will do that, you're going to build a big business. If you're sitting and waiting for people to spill them into one of your legs, you're not going to have a big business, and your business is not going to grow. In this particular scenario, what I've also shown is you've ended up sponsoring a third person. And in your third person, you had to spill them because someone in your upline spilled someone here, you sponsored someone, that was your second person, you sponsored on your left-hand side. They sponsored somebody, then you sponsored your third person, and you spilled them down here. And then, of course, this person who you sponsored, someone, that person sponsored someone, that person sponsored someone, that person sponsored someone, then you sponsored your fourth person, you spilled them down to the bottom of your right-hand leg. Bottom line about spill, don't expect to get it. You'll get it, but don't expect to get it. What you should do is expect to create it for your downline organization. Now, let's take a look at a binary and how it pays out. We get paid out every single week. On a weekly basis, the commissions are added up. The computer looks at all of the different parts of the bonuses. It adds it all up, adds up the team commissions, and it pays out on a weekly basis. The way it works is the computer looks at your organization, and it basically determines, okay, how much volume is being done, and then the computer does some very simple calculations that I'm going to run you through. Basically, you can look at it one of two ways on how the computer is going to pay you on a weekly basis. You can either say the computer is going to pay you 10% of the lesser leg volume, or the way I like to look at it is the computer is going to pay you 5% on each one of the organizations down to the volume of your lesser leg. Let me illustrate that point for you. Let's say that you're looking at this organization. By the way, for simplification purposes, I have everybody doing 100 points. Much better if everybody does 225 points, but assume everybody's doing 100 points. If everybody's doing 100 points, there's 1,000 points with 10 people doing 100 points here, 1,000 points, 5 people doing 100 points there, 500 points. If you're getting paid 10% commission on 500 points, you'd make $50. That is one way to be able to look at that scenario. A second way to be able to look at that scenario is to be able to say, okay, the computer is going to pay me 5% on both sides, on the right-hand side and the left-hand side. So 5% on 500 points would be $25. You would then have the computer subtract out 500 points from the 1,000 points, because that's your lesser leg volume. That would say that you would make $25 on that, because you would make 5% on that $500 or $25. But here's what's exciting, because we have a non-flushing binary. When the computer makes that calculation, basically what's going to happen is the computer, because it's paid you on that 500 points on this side, is going to subtract out 500 points, and you're going to be left with 500 points that is going to be banked. That volume will be banked and rolled over into next week's commission run as the result of you still having more volume than you've been paid on. So we don't flush that volume like a lot of binaries do. It's a non-flushing binary. That 500 points gets banked, it rolls over into the very next week, and you start that week with 500 points. One last point that I want to make in regards to the binary compensation plan that's very important, and that is the power of geometric progression and duplication. When you look at 5 people, 10 people over there, and you're making $50, you're thinking, that's not a lot of money. Watch how it grows, though. Imagine that you have just you, and then in your first month you sponsor two people, or you just doubled your business. Let's just say you doubled your business every single month. 1 turns into 2. In the third month, those 2, you'd be adding 4. In the next month would be a 5th month. Then a 4th month, you'd be adding 8. In the 5th month, you'd be adding 16. 6th month, 32. 7th month, 64. I'm going to round it off, doubling it. We're doubling it each time, meaning everybody's just sponsoring one. Then you'd have 125. Then you'd have 250 added into your business. Then you'd have 500 added into your business, 1,000 added into your business, 2,000 added into your business. By your 10th month, you'd be adding 1,000 people into your binary organization if everybody was just sponsoring one. And you'll end up sponsoring more than one a month, and so will the people in your business. But understand that that doesn't look like a lot now. You let it mature over the next 6, 8, 10, 12 months. You'll get to the point where there are hundreds of people being added on a monthly basis into your organization to be able to beef up that binary tree and the compensation that you're making on a weekly basis.